What's going on, everyone out there? Welcome to the program tonight. Bronx Sports Jedi MMA program with myself and Austin. What's going on, man? How you doing today?
Doing all right. Could be better. A lot better, but
Feeling better? That's good.
I could be better.
It could be, it will be. Let me ask you, which way you would like to start? Would you want to start with Bellator
Oh,
tonight?
let's go back. Yeah, start. Let's not jump ahead. Yeah, because I didn't watch the UFC at all. I don't know. I just know the results. I'm not gonna break it down because I didn't see what happened personally. It wouldn't be fair for me to talk to what happened in the past UFC if I didn't watch it.
Your volume is a little low. Just make sure your volume is up.
All right.
And then, yeah, let's go right into the Bellator. Bellator 263 last weekend. Talk to me about it.
Okay. Can you hear me better or?
Yeah. Just bring the microphone up to you so you could.
Uh, all right. Well, I didn't. Well, I didn't really catch the some of the prelims because they was kind of like hard to find personally. I, but I know that, but I know there was a lot of like finishes in the prelims. But I'm gonna start with the main card. I'm gonna start with the main card. When the first match of the main card was Goto Yamaguchi scoring a first round TKO stoppage against Chris Gonzalez via punches, 3 minutes in the first round, and I I'm not surprised. I thought this was a bad matchup, a mismatch personally for Yamaguchi, considering this was his 30th fight or 31st fight. Chris Gonzalez only had 6 fights. I know Chris Gonzalez was a decorated American wrestler prior to his MMA career, but at the same time, the experience level against even though Yamaguchi gets most of his victories by submissions, but still it I don't but still the experience level was so wide that I honestly didn't understand why they got Chris Gonzalez. They matched up Chris Gonzalez against Yamaguchi. I know Gonzalez won a tough opponent, but still, I thought this was a bad but still the mismatch. It was and you can clearly tell watching the fight that Yamaguchi was the more experienced, better fighter of the two, and it was a good performance by Yamaguchi. Good way to start off the card for on Showtime for the Bellator event. First of won't be the last finish of this card, and Yamaguchi's very good. He's a good lightweight. He's a guy in that lightweight division to keep your eyes on, especially since there's 3 lightweight fights in this card, which which we'll talk more about later, little bit, and especially considering the champion, the lightweight champion, did fought tonight, even though he lost, but still lightweight champion and fought. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on in that division.
Yeah, that first round TKO got me surprised there where that Yamaguchi. That was a really surprising on that. It was a good striking fight, but I didn't think it was going to end that pretty quick. And I thought it was going to go at least 2 rounds at least.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's fair. I can see why. Because Yamaguchi, that was his second finish by by punches, strikes. Because he has 20 submissions. Although Yamaguchi does have 7 kickboxing victories, but he's more submission guy. Yamaguchi, excuse me. And but yeah, at the end of the day, Yamaguchi had a great price. Very great performance, and we'll just see where he goes from there. And then the next fight was Islam Mamedov, one Habib's teammates, Habib Nurmagomedov teammates, defeats Brett Primus, the former Bellator lightweight champion, via split decision 29-28. 2 judges, one judge gave it for Brett Primus 28-28. And this wasn't the most exciting fight, I'll be honest. It was kind of at times stalling, kind of like no action. Islam did get control of the ground game. He was initiating the clinches and and he did take down Primus. Although Primus was going for I think omoplatas or gogoplatas. I forget which one personally. But my thing is Primus. I feel that's all he kept doing was just that. And at first, first 2 times he tried, it looked like he might have had him. But then the problem is that's all he kept doing. After a while, Islam kind of knew what to do and avoid getting, tapping out, obviously. And I feel like Primus didn't really do much that didn't do too many things for me to give the fight to him. I know Big John thought that Primus was doing more than than Islam. But I honestly, I think they were both. I think it was equal in terms of at times what the output they were putting on. Just that Islam had to me better positioning, and that's why I'm okay with this decision. I really can't argue too much because
Right,
I feel like it almost feel like, well, Islam had better position and they both were doing equal amount of activity. So you know what? I'll give the guy that has better position in this case, and I can just live. I think we can all live with it and just move on.
right, right.
Yeah,
And then we
yeah,
have, uh-huh.
yeah. Islam improves his record to 20 and I think 21-1 now. So keeps Islam's very good. I mean, hopefully he'll have a better performance next time he fights, which I expect. I mean, hopefully. A lot. He's like those typical Dagestanis, very good grappling, very, very good all around, great records. Speaking of Dagestanis and Habib's teammates, you have Habib's cousin Usman Nurmagomedov improves to 13-0, defeating Manny Muro via TKO knees and punches in the first round, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Which this was Islam's best Bellator performance. His striking was on point like it was in the last fights. He took Manny down at will and did some good work on the ground, showing his ensemble background. And then, like say around the 30 minute mark, hits him with a beautiful knee that you can hear that knee too. And the knee was very violent and it dropped Manny Muro badly. He got dropped from the pain in the knee. And Usman, followed up with some shots and the referee stopped in there. Usman's a guy I'm very, very high on Usman. I like Usman. I do think Usman will be its champ in that division eventually. I think he's gonna follow his cousin Habib's footprints and potentially be the 155 champion, but for Bellator in this case. And he's got striking is a lot better than Habib's. I think I said last week he does have probably the best striking of everybody out of everybody in the not to all the Nurmagomedovs rather. And you can see on display here with striking his knees. Apparently he did Muay Thai before he did Sambo, like or wrestling, like everybody, like all the other not people in his family. So that's what maybe the reason why he had such good knees there in that case, knees in the clinch. And be
Right.
interesting. It'd be interesting to see, when if Usman is going to be ranked in the Bellator rankings after this performance, or maybe one more fight, because he is expected to fight again in October in the Russia card, Fedor's last fight. So it'll be interesting to see if he can go 3-0 in 2020. It would definitely be a great for him if he wants to move up that rankings for Usman. And did you watch this fight or no?
I did watch that one. It was a pretty good. It was a good fight there, and he was very impressive. Typical Miles made of to just went in attack with the knees and the punches. I was very impressed with his striking ability, and all around performance. I was actually pleasantly surprised. It only went 3:30 in the first round. It showed that he took his training camp serious, and it really showed that guy, Usman really improved. I seen his other fight I actually watched it before the fight started to see what I was to get a little scouting report, and the improvement from fight to fight on Usman, very 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 impressive.
Right, yeah, definitely. And gotta give credit to Habib as a coach. Well, Habib and their actual head coach Javier Mendez, this year undefeated when Habib is in Javier's corner again with some of Habib's guys. Well, Coach Habib's undefeated, but Habib doesn't consider himself coach. He gives credit to their head coach Javier Mendez over AKA. So Usman's won his fights. Islam's Mamedov won his fights. Even he had some guys in the undercard win their fights. Where be Gizazi Raunov won his fight, but in the first round knockouts where he checked the leg kick and was able to catch him beautiful left hook. So yeah, Coach Habib's on. Those guys they're on the roll and they're taking over Bellator just like the Dagestanis are taking over the UFC. And which can't wait to see more Usman, especially in October. And the co-main, in the co-main event, we had a very fun fight. Very fun, action-packed fight, especially those first two rounds. as Masvidal defeated Emmanuel Sanchez via unanimous decision and to score, I believe I think I'm trying to remember. I think his sixth win in a row or seventh win in a row. I forget. But Masvidal, I thought to me it looked like to me he lost the first round. I thought Emmanuel Sanchez outstruck him. I mean that was a fun round. Sanchez and them were at high pace, so throwing a lot of strikes, landing some, and also throwing a lot, which I gotta give. But then Masvidal got him credit for being able to take Emmanuel down the second fight and making more of his style of fight with a lot of grappling stuff. Although Emmanuel held his own because he's a good grappler in his own right. But Masvidal is just he's a very elite level jiu-jitsu ground game, and he really
Let me ask you this: do you think it was really an unanimous decision? I couldn't see. I could have saw a split decision there, in my opinion. But unanimous decision. I see the scorecards 29-28, 30-27, 30-27. Like you said, the first round could have went either way there. In my opinion.
yeah, it could have gone either way. You are right about that. You're very correct. I thought I thought it was 29-28 Masvidal. I thought Sanchez won the first round. And a lot of people had their issues with the judge with judging tonight because of this fight and also the Islam Mamedov and Brand Primus fight. And this is one of my issues as a judges giving all three rounds to Burnell because, like I said, Sanchez to me won at least the first round. Maybe, yeah, you could maybe get him the second round, maybe. But I know maybe you make argument Sanchez won the first two rounds, maybe won the fight. But I thought Burnell did second and third rounds, fought his style fight and was able to beat Sanchez and control him and was able to, not only strike him at times, but also get him the ground and grapple with him and be in great dominant positions to hurt, in his fights. And Burnell, that being Emmanuel Sanchez, a guy who just fought for the featherweight title back in April, puts himself in the 145 title picture like a contender in this 145 division in Bellator, which is really exciting. Especially, a lot of talent in that division, and it's, like I said, very exciting. Especially what happened in the main event, which before I go there, yeah, anything else you want to say about the fight or no?
No, we could go right into the main event, the big $1 million Grand Prix, winner takes all, big time main event, and let's get right to it, man. AJ McKee and Patish Pitbull. It was what a good fight.
Yeah, yeah, it was a fun fight, great fight. I mean, gotta give people, got Agent McKee had star making performance. I mean, he went in there against Pitbull, a guy who hadn't lost in like 5 years. I think he was on at least a 7 fight winning streak. Yeah, 7 fight winning streak. Went out there and you know, dropped Pitbull with a head kick. Then hurt him some. And even though Agent McKee made a mistake of celebrating that he won the fight when he didn't, he was able to recover. McKee was able to bounce. Be able to put him in a guillotine choke, and then once he got that guillotine choke on, Pitbull had no shot, and excuse me, he went limb basically, and as soon as he went limb, the referee stopped the fight, and all this happened within before 2 minutes, and I didn't know who's gonna win. Both may both Dan says both main events say the cards in the UFC and Bellator. I thought the Bellator show was pretty good. Wasn't a boring Bellator main card. The first fight and the Usman fight were pretty good, and the co-main event was pretty entertaining. Personally, I know the Islam Al Brand Primus fight was kind of boring, but I thought the Bellator show was good. And like I said, I didn't watch the UFC show unfortunately, so I can't comment on that. But thank you for the comment though, Dan. What was? Oh yeah, McKee. That was very impressive. I didn't know I didn't know what to expect in this fight, and for McKee to go out there and just put away Pitbull in less than 2 minutes, it's just it's speechless. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, it left me speechless as well. I didn't expect. I thought it was going to go at least three, 2 to 3 rounds. I knew there was going to be a stoppage, but I didn't expect it to be so quick like that. Man, big up to AJ because he just came out there, man, and he wanted it. He wanted it. He attacked. He hit him with a good shot, and he just went with that submission, that guillotine choke. Just put it on him, man. What a phenomenal. He wanted it. He saw the $1 million prize there, and that was just hunger, determination, grit, desire, but all the different adjectives that you could put in there. He just went out and got it, man. Caught Pitbull by a surprise, an onslaught. I don't think Pitbull was going to expect that, such an onslaught. Pitbull knew he was gonna get into a battle and a war, but he didn't know that kind of onslaught was going to come from AJ, I think, and caught him a little bit off surprise, but he did get rocked, in my opinion. Really good.
Yeah, he got rocked, and yeah, I just feel like it was just a great performance. I mean not Pitbull. AJ came out to nothing but a G ding. The whole crowd was singing along to the song. They were in Los Angeles, AJ McKee's hometown, and to win from his friends and family, I can imagine. He basically lived out a promise he made back when he was 4 that he was going to be a world champion. So 22-year plan, and he delivered on it. And he's been talking to town in MMA, rightfully so. Dana White's even comment on him. And
We got Dan
apparently,
with us here.
hello Dan.
Let's bring in Dan into the stream, and let's add him on. Is he on yet? Let me see.
I see him.
I'm trying to add him. Yeah, I'm trying to add Dan onto the screen.
Oh,
Can you add him on from your end? Oh, Dan is on.
can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, that's awesome. How you guys doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Great. Just made some fried fish. Enjoying
Is
that.
Dan on the screen now, Melton?
Yeah, I see him.
I can hear you, BX. Can you hear me?
Hey, Dan, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. I'm just a little bit slow behind with my technical difficulty on my end.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
It's nothing much. I just got some fried fish right here.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Dan acrylic. They're gonna make someone hungry there.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Anyways, I'm here for the UFC. I'm here for the MMA talk. Both main events were really great. I'd say, sorry for cutting you guys off, but just the cards overall, I think there were just one or two fights that stuck out in each card. And there were just I think in other cards we've seen I don't know how else to say it. There was just better competition spread out amongst each matchup versus these two cards. And I think for me personally, it was just hard trying to split my attention between watching both events live at the same time, because that's what I was trying to do. But yeah,
unfortunately, we didn't see the UFC cards here. We have it. We have the results, and we know what happened. We could speak about it with you, because we'll definitely let you break down the UFC card. Because we've been battling a little illnesses here in our home, and we didn't have the chance to watch both of them, and we've been a little bit chaotic here with it. The main event on the Bellator, did you expect that to end so quick like that before we go into the UFC?
Like the night of that it happened, no, I was not expecting that, and no one could say that they were expecting that. Not even AJ McKee's father could say that he was expecting a first round submission. All right, that was not. No one was expecting that, right? But as the days continue to go on, and I reflect on that fight, it just brought me back to the TJ Dillashaw versus Sandhagen fight, where you have essentially this two type of styles that they were kind of mirrors of each other. Well, not to say because AJ McKee, I'd say, is a better submission artist than Corey Sandhagen, but essentially you have a guy whose best work is done on the outside, where he's keeping a range, versus Pitbull, where I felt he should have taken the TJ Dillashaw approach, which was to shorten that range, make sure AJ can't use the length that he has, and to stay in the pocket. And thinking back on it now, I think that was the one mistake that he made, was that if you notice for the majority of that round, he just stayed within AJ's range, or he just tried to stay out of it. When if you're the shorter guy and you know you have the shorter wingspan, you have to kind of bite down on the mouthpiece and go in.
Fair point. Yeah, that makes sense considering you mentioned Dillashaw was the short man against Sandhagen. That's what he did, and then McKee was definitely, I think, 4 inches taller than Pitbull, and Pitbull probably should have done that, yet he didn't, which he allowed McKee to set up his attacks, which eventually led to that head kick, which was the beginning of the end for Pitbull. That's a fair point.
Also, I didn't understand it. Maybe you could explain it to me and as to why Bellator did it, but I understand that there was one division on the line. It was one division title on the line, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How did he end up with 2 belts?
One is the I think one is the Grand Prix championship belt. Like when you win the
Okay.
Grand Prix, that's what they gave it to you. Kind of like Pride back in the day, Pride over in Japan when they had the tournament, whoever won the tournament was the Grand Prix champion. They'll have like a belt for them. I think it's kind of like based off that.
Okay. All right. That makes more sense. I didn't understand because it felt like, especially the way Patricio was leaving the stage, no belts, and the guy had 2 belts. It just kind of felt like, oh man, he really meant what he said when he's coming up for that next division. But yeah, that was overall, like, even though it ended as quickly as it did, for the action that we saw throughout the card, it was a good fight and it was a good card. Bellator really it entertained me.
Good. I'm glad that you got entertained because we were pushing that one, and promoting it so mightily that I told you it was going to be a good. Austin, actually, give kudos to Austin. He was really excited about that card since I think a month prior before the event started. We've been promoting it and anticipating it on the program. Let me ask you this, Austin. Did it live up to your expectation and standards that you were living up to?
Yeah, it did. I thought it delivered for the most part. But like I said, the only fight, like I said, that Islam and Red Primus fight, maybe was the only one that didn't, that I didn't exactly enjoy that much. But all the other fights did deliver. The card itself did deliver. It delivers what I expected, and it definitely left me entertained. And I think most people who saw that card would agree that it was an entertaining card, and then they probably were left satisfied. Whether you're there in person or watching it on Showtime or whatever you're watching it, you definitely left that after the show felt like you got your money's worth or felt entertained at least.
Yeah, it was a great event.
And we'll let Dan break down for us. Let us know what with UFC Vegas 33 show. We both missed it, unfortunately, but I do have the results on the bottom. We did see Sean Strickland defeat Uriah Hall in the unanimous decision. Look, from what I read and I heard, Strickland worked Uriah Hall, and Uriah Hall wasn't like motivated. It looked like he wasn't, motivated or wasn't himself. I know you seen it. Can you give us the audience and us a breakdown on your thoughts on that fight?
Okay. There was a combination of things that happened that fight that, while I was watching it, it brought me right back to the discussion I had with Austin, and we both, I don't know how else to say it, we were right and we were wrong at the same time, because where we were right at was that we felt that Sean Strickland needed to dirty up the fight. And later on in the rounds, as they both got tired, he started dirtying up the fight, like pressing Uriah Hall against the cage and really trying to just keep him pressed against the cage and go for the little body blows or whatnot and just keep it effective with the striking. Here's where we were wrong at. Granted, Uriah Hall did look out of sorts. He looked out of sync. Like, I don't know. They mentioned that it was his birthday, so maybe he partied the night before and didn't come all the way focused. Or maybe he was looking forward to a birthday party later on. Who knows? it is what it is, right? Like just like the
Right.
performance, it wasn't the Uriah Hall that we're all used to. But as far as like there were moments like even though he didn't look like the Uriah Hall that we were used to, there were still moments where it felt like, okay, now he's turning it on, and now there's a way for him to turn around the fight. And the reason why I'm saying there were ways for him to turn around the fight is because it was completely Sean Strickland's fight. From the first bell to the last. It was completely. When Austin and I talked about how maybe Sean Strickland couldn't strike with Uriah Hall. No, we were wrong. We were really wrong. Like he just tagged him. He hit him whenever he wanted, wherever he wanted. And Uriah Hall could do nothing about it. The only time that people felt like maybe Uriah had a chance was when he tried to incorporate leg kicks. But he really kicked Sean Strickland in the leg about, I'd say, maybe 4 times throughout the entire 5-round matchup. And the fact that Uriah was supposed to be the veteran looking into like the veteran 5-round fighter, Sean just looked so much fresher. But I think that attributes to the fact that Uriah was just taking so much damage. Like when I say he was taking so much damage, this was like not to disrespect anyone, but like looking at it, it was one-sided. It was a completely one-sided fight. This was bad. Like I really thought that maybe Uriah had a chance with, if he could mix up his striking, but because he didn't do so, Sean Strickland just continued to get whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. And I hope you guys can at least find some highlights of that fight so you can see it. But it was pure boxing. It was pure Western style boxing. And I don't know, like Uriah Hall is supposed to be a Muay Thai fighter, and he just incorporated none of the like lower body attacks. He incorporated nothing of that. And that was what the fight was. It was essentially one fighter who handicapped himself, and because he did so, and because mentally he was not correctly in the game, the other fighter just took advantage.
Let me ask you this, Dan. Did he win? Did Uriah Hall win any of the rounds? Because it seems like he got shut out there on the scorecards. It was an unanimous decision. I don't see the. Wow. To Robert Parr. Salute to you, my man, out there.
I'm sorry for cutting you off, but he was shut out completely. Like I'm watching. I don't know how like there was I'd say maybe the second or the third round that there was a point where Sean Strickland could have finished him, but then he ended up pressing him on the cage, I believe, because he was tired himself, because of the volume of strikes that he was throwing, like the volume and the accuracy that he was throwing at. Like it was a point where he really got Uriah woozy and he could have finished him, but then he proceeded to press him onto the cages. And I think for the third and the fourth round, those were the 2 rounds that you could say were maybe closer in score, but it doesn't help Uriah's favor at all.
Wow, gotcha. So that dominating, huh? Wow. I mean, I'm surprised
We're
you
gonna have to
mentioned
take a look. I'm gonna have to take a look at that.
Yeah, I'm surprised you mentioned 4 leg kicks in 25 minutes. I would think you'd do more, considering he's got good kicking ability, and maybe that'll be something to draw off from Strickland. But I guess he just didn't do it, and Sean Strickland walks out, victorious, and now he set up a fight against Luke Rocco, but it's down the road, who former middleweight champion. So good for Sean.
Yeah, and for Uriah, like this was the fight that would have propelled him into contention. But for right now, I don't know where he goes, especially when you show this lackluster performance. That's what was bad.
Yeah, that's definitely bad. If that lackluster performance, that was bad. That's not a good thing. Going forward with him there, because I thought Uriah Hall was gonna win this fight, man. I'm actually surprised when I saw the results. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, same. We got fights. They got dominated. Surprised me more than anything. That's was like, whoa, they got dominated that badly. Jeez. I mean, I know he's had mental problems in terms of not pulling the trigger, but I don't know. I don't know if maybe those demons came back or what it was. But yeah, I mean, look, based on what you're telling me, it was not a great performance for Uriah Hall. Not good night to be a Uriah Hall fan, basically.
If you were a Uriah
Well,
Hall fan, that
and
fight, it was tough.
wow. Well, at least prior to that, the three cards in a row before the main event, they all ended on TKO. There was a lot of knockouts on that card that I could see reading from the results. Did you get to watch more? I know you were flipping back and forth with the Bellator. Any of these fights that was eye catching with all these TKOs? I seen one in the first. There was two first round TKOs. The ladies bout, the co-main event, and and Gooden, Gerard Gooden, and also one he got a TKO. Any other fights there, Dan, that you want to let us know that we need to keep an eye on watch that was impressive?
I want to save the ladies fight for last. There was another fight. I don't know if you could pull up the card for me so I could see it. Just want to remember some of these guys' faces because
underneath the bottom, I think it's reading, but let me see if it pulls up because I'm on the other PC and it tends to get a little slow. It should be up there.
But yeah, there were a lot of good finishes. There were a lot of good fights that just they started off either one way and ended the other, or it was just a pure dominant performance. But I really want to save the Cheyenne Buys fight for last because that was really excellent. One was a really good. That was a really good fight. Or matter of fact, let's talk about it right now.
I heard a lot of good things from that fight for a performance.
Because there's another level to the Cheyenne Buys fight that I want to talk about. But first, let's talk about the actual fight.
Okay.
Vicious KO. Like they start off, exchanging against each other, right? And then somewhere along the way, they're scrambling, and she gets her opponent down on the ground. She gets up first as her opponent, just as her hands leave the mat. So it could have been deemed illegal, like literally, if her foot made contact with her opponent's face a second too soon, it would have been an illegal knockout.
Yeah, that's true.
But just as her opponent's hands lifted off the mat, kicked her right in the face. She's down, right? The referee is looking. Her opponent starts to get up. And, so he's like, no, keep fighting on. She mounts on top, ends it via ground and pound. It was an excellent fight. It was excellent. It was so action-packed. And the way they went back and forth just for it to end like that, it was like, yes, that was the coup de grace because it was just really, really good. I don't know if you guys saw any highlights from it. If you guys could tell me, but because also Cheyenne Buys, she came off a loss prior, and so that was something she mentioned about how she didn't want to be known as the girl that got knocked out. That was something she mentioned. So yeah, that was a really good fight.
Yeah, I heard that it basically what you described actually happened. I heard it was like really impressive. I think I might have saw it a couple of days ago, like the highlight of her knockout. And I remember like going, damn, like I seen what she did, Shine Buys, and she had like the start, like the best, probably like the most memorable moments of all the fires that night, because everyone was talking about her after Sean Strickland.
Yeah,
and then she must have gotten fight the bonus of the night then, for sure.
That's the second level that I wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay. Good. Look at
that. Yeah, you segued right into it. Cheyenne Buys, she said it after the fight, right there in the octagon, and then she said it during the podium. The sport made her broke. She had a negative balance in her account. The last fight, she needed to win, regardless win or loss, because the money didn't go to her. It went towards paying back a loan. This fight, along with the fight bonus, like she now can pay bills or whatever, but because of the fight bonus, she now can maybe treat herself better or whatnot. But realistically, she's going to have to put that away because there could be another hard time. I'm saying that to say, is fighters pay a discussion that we should have?
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, a lot of these fighters deserve to get paid a lot more. But well, especially if you're, being consistently ranked fighter who puts on entertaining fights. Obviously, it's been an issue for the last 15 years in MMA. Fighters pay, and it seems like it's like more fighters have talked about it, but the issues are still the same. And I mean, I don't know what will cause it to change, because it's not the UFC is doing bad financially. It's that they're doing pretty well financially. They've had I forget what was it last year. I think last year's record profits, or not that long ago, it was like record profits and things like that. And like it doesn't, and especially now considering if you're a UFC fighter, the sponsorships you have, it's hard to have like sponsorship deals now, and your UFC fighter versus like Bellator, where you can like at least have like sponsorships on your shorts and things like that. And like I know the revenue share the UFC fighters get like 18% or something. I think 18% of the revenue, whereas like NFL players I think get like 50% or like 49 somewhere around there. And like I think it's gonna be hard. I think it's gonna be a tough issue because Dan White seems adamant in terms of not like changing fire pay, things like that. He seems like very stuck in his ways. So I mean, I really honestly don't know what would cause for it to change besides like maybe a union, or or something drastic.
See,
Excuse me.
I think that conversation needs to be done because this is I mean UFC. If I'm not mistaken, its third television contract. Remember, they I think they, if I'm not mistaken, Austin, please correct me, or Dan, they started off in USA Network. Am I correct?
Spike TV.
UFC when Spike TV.
Spike
Excuse
TV,
me,
yes.
Spike TV. Then they made that contract into the Fox contract. And now they have the big multi contract with ESPN. That's his third television contract. You telling me that you haven't made money on a sport that's popular? It puts on every month a really good pay per view where we all pay to watch it. It's making its money. It's not like boxing. It's very popular. You have a streaming service in ESPN Plus that we pay and people pay, and UFC Fight Pass, and the revenue streaming is there. I think they need to have that conversation of not allowing a black eye on this poor young lady that I think she was just her and her dogs, that she said that she just took her dog and went on to fight and trying to make money. That's a sad story. And also, yes, I understand the athlete needs to learn how to also be financially responsible for their gyms and their training and their regiments. But if the fights are not going to pay on an amount where they're getting in there and becoming gladiators, yeah, we need to have a conversation. Maybe the Las Vegas commission, fighting commission, needs to get involved, or a regulation around the whole country. But remember, they always could tiptoe that they could take their fights, across seas or so forth. So I don't know how would you govern and embody that. That's a little bit a slippery slope.
I understand what you guys are saying, because first off, I think they have too many different state commissions. Because they have too many different state commissions, each state has different combat rules.
Yeah, but only
That's
the commissions can get involved with fire pay or what a company pays out, though. I think that's out of the jurisdiction of the athletic commissions.
No, I think number one, they should get rid of all those commissions, and there should be one unified commission.
Well, yeah, I agree with that there, but I don't know how that can affect fire pay, though.
No, that's something I feel like that should help, just in the sense of when a fighter goes into a fight, like especially MMA, like we discussed last week, it's a brutal sport. So you don't know, like if you just fought a month ago in another state and one set of strikes were okay, but you go to a different state, 3 months down the line, and you're being DQ'd for something, and then you lose your pay because there's a difference between whether they win or they lose and the pay that they get in the win and loss. Like I think that affects the pay as well. So that should be a byproduct of that. As far as fighters pay, you guys are right. This is a complex issue. Me bringing this up, the only reason I brought it up because the only thing I see that they can do really is unionize. And in order for them to unionize, they'd have to kind of like a lot of the guys that's making a lot of money would have to kind of sacrifice in a way. And I don't know if the fighters are natural, like by nature, going to be for the group like that.
Yeah,
What you guys think?
The unification of UFC is going to be, I think, is difficult because it's so globally, and it might not work for fighters from different countries. They might not want to be part of a union due to just political beliefs or whatever the case is with the union or so forth. That's going to be tough. I don't know. It's I guess the pay scale might have to increase or guaranteed pay scale. Or I have no
well,
idea.
I think there is a way though for fighters. I mean, now granted, it's easier said than done. A lot of it, this is a risk. It's free agency with other organizations. It's something that I remember Eddie Alvarez talked about when he left from UFC to one championship. How like he was surprised to learn how much his worth was when he won off from his deal. And then he tells fighters sometimes it's I've heard him talk about. I've heard Josh Thompson talk about it weigh in that sometimes you gotta go test yourself, see how much you actually are worth, and see where that the UFC is underpaying you, or maybe they're overpaying you. Maybe sometimes you can use other organizations as a negotiation to get more money, kind of like how sports team, like baseball team, players or basketball players will use other teams to negotiate. Oh, this team's all interested in me. They use it to get more money from another team, things like that. Sometimes maybe that's what fights may have to start doing more is test the free agency market and see who's willing to pay you more. Try to use other organizations leverage. And if if the UFC doesn't budge, then maybe sign with that other organization, especially if you're gonna get paid more because you are a prize fighter at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Right,
I
you are a
completely
price. That's the right word.
I completely agree with that because watching that Bellator event, seeing AJ McKee get that $1 million check, like I don't know, it was watching that and then watching Cheyenne Buys get her fight of the night bonus back to back. That kind of just like those images stick with you and make you go, wow, these guys sacrificed so much. And the only time where they could really cash in is if all things break right for them.
Right, and they got to win. They got to go in there and lay everything on the line just to win that. I mean, they train and all that sacrifice for them. Yeah, that is heartbreaking on that young lady. With hopefully, she financially with her fight bonuses, leads for better fights and more money fights. And she continues to get in the ring and continue to dominate and knock out opponents like that. Hopefully, the big price fight will come her way down the road. Let's see that.
Yeah, let's see about it. We do have a big UFC show this weekend. It's happening in Houston,
We have a
Texas.
huge, we have a
Now,
huge
Huge,
pay-per-view this
huge,
weekend.
a huge one.
yeah, huge one in Houston.
Houston, we got a huge problem, baby. We got
Mhm.
two guys that going into this. We got two guys on a 6-game win in the heavyweight division. Someone's going to take that L. on that 6 game fight streak. Man, ooh, baby, I can't wait to see this one. Hopefully I can pull it up. Did it pull up on your end?
No, that was a
Nick Summer
Knicks.
League roster. That was a Nick Summer
That's
League roster.
okay, guys. That's a different program. You got it.
That's the wrong one. Still Knicks Summer League
All right.
program.
Wrong one. The different program. I don't have it on here, but the summer league program in this. Yeah, man, we got the big pay-per-view this weekend. We unfortunately the co-main event was scratched away. We all know that Amanda Nunes will not be fighting this weekend due to the COVID. But they put Aldo in there, and they for Aldo. Let me find the card on there. Where that boy? Here it is. And I don't have. I thought I had the pictures on here, but I'll put the ticker on the bottom, and there's the ticker. We have Aldo is going to fight Pedro Munez. Austin, read it for us.
Yeah, you were just saying. We know Aldo and Pedro Munoz is the co-main event now. It's been elevated. You also fight. You got the important welterweight matchup. It's Cesar Luque against Michael Chiesa, two top 6 opponents in the welterweight division. And scrap, and then you have the women's rematch, the women's strawweight, two top 12 contenders, and Tisha Torres and Angela Hill bowing out. Tisha Torres won the first fight back in 2015, which surprisingly I do remember that fight somewhat. And then you got then the first fight in pay-per-view is Casey Kenny against Song Yong Dong in the bantamweight division. And then of course you on the main event it's Zaragon and Derek Lewis for the interim heavyweight title, which I mean, I think most people agree there shouldn't be an interim heavyweight title. I mean, it's not like Francis is hurt or anything, just some weird circumstance of him in the UFC, but just it is what it is. And Dan, what's your thoughts on the main event?
Very exciting. Very, very exciting. Oh man, I might as well let my prediction out. I have Derek Lewis taking this in the second round. I think what he showed against what was his last fight? Curtis Blades. What he showed against Curtis Blades was like the ability that a guy can come in as skilled as he has, have the pedigree that Curtis Blades has, and as long as Derek Lewis can touch you, good night, Irene. Send the cookies and the warm milk. Tuck yourself in bed. All of that. That man is dangerous power. And so I have Derek Lewis taking this in the second round. That's it.
Right. No, but like I get where you're coming from, but yeah, this same main event. I mean, Lewis is fighting his hometown. That crowd's gonna be going nuts for Derek Lewis. They're already going nuts for him. The press conference that happened just 2 hours ago. What's up, Alex? I'm coming from okay.
Alex Coquito, what's going on? Kiki. My main man, support him down there. He's doing some good reporting out there. Salute, man, Alex. Thank you for coming in and showing love to the program.
A few hours ago, the press conference that took place, the crowd was already giving Derek Lewis some love. There's a funny interaction with him and Derek Lewis and a French reporter. Some French reporter being all arrogant and stuff. It was, it's funny. But Zaragon being from France, now I know. I mean, he's looked really impressive to me. The last fight really made me a believer in Zaragon. Was when he was that fight where he beat Alexander Volkov pretty convincingly, and and he's very very high, lot of good fight IQ, very skill, a lot of technical, very fast, also has a lot of skill for the heavyweight division. I mean, Zaragon is going to be a problem in this heavyweight division because he's very technical and has lots and very also has speed and is very has a lot more skills than your typical heavyweight. That's personally that's why I think he will be a player in this division for years to come. Maybe he might be France's first champion down the road. But even though with all that said, I still think Derrick Lewis is gonna win. Now maybe this is my heart because I'm a big Derrick Lewis fan. This might be my heart saying it, but Derrick Lewis has that power, and when you have that power, even though Zero Gone has power, but Derrick Lewis really got power. Like he's one of the more heavier like punchers, like hitters in the heavyweight
Oh yeah,
division.
he's
Yeah,
got that
exactly.
heavy hand.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
I'm gonna take my prediction. I like Lewis to win, but I'm gonna take the Frenchman, man. In honor of Evan Fournier, signing the New York Knicks.
Okay. Well. Yeah, I think Lewis is pretty good. Lewis is pretty good. I do think this will be a fight where Derrick Lewis will make a comeback and win because I think Zorogan will hurt him, have him in trouble early on. But I think Derrick Lewis will have one of those performances where he somehow figures out the way, makes a comeback, and is able to, hurt Zorogan, probably put him away. I honestly don't know what round, but I know probably be past the first round. That I'll say for sure. But who knows? It could be second, third, fourth, maybe fifth round. But I think Derrick Lewis will somehow figure out a way to win and beat Zorogon and hand him his first loss of his career. And then we'll probably get that rematch with Ngannou and Derrick Lewis. But that's just my prediction. Like I said, man, this is heart speaking, but I'm going Derrick Lewis in this.
That's not your heart
All right,
speaking.
so
That's your head speaking, because you know that man has nuclear power in his fist. That man is, as soon as he touches Cyril Gahn, is gonna be here. Take a nice big sip of wine, take a nice drag of this cigarette, go eat some cheese, twist your
Le
mustache, and
croissant,
go to sleep.
le croissant,
Eat a
le
croissant,
croissant.
eat a croissant, and then go to sleep and have dreams of the Eiffel Tower. The only thing you're gonna be seeing is lights. Lights. Derrick Lewis is a
So you
different
mean
individual.
so Derek Lewis is gonna knock out Pepe?
Oh yeah.
Pepe,
He's gonna
Pepe
knock
Le
Pepe Le
Pew.
Pew. Yeah.
Oh man, that I'm gonna take Gagne. I'm gonna take the upset. I'm gonna be different.
Well,
I got a
well,
gut feeling.
Zero's the favorite actually in this fight.
Yeah, Cyril Gahn is the favorite, but I don't know. People don't know.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. Look at that. Look at here. Lee died. All I'm gonna be coming up here, Lee darling. We won the fight. We the Frenchman.
Right.
What do you think about the co-main event, man? With Aldo, I'm sticking in there. I think Aldo's got something to prove, guys.
That is a great that's a great fight to substitute for the Amanda Nunes fight. Wish Amanda a speedy recovery, but this is going to be interesting because Jose Aldo, if he makes enough noise, I think he can find a way that his next fight would be.
Or against Dillashaw, like I was mentioning.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
Would go.
I'd say Dillashaw. Dillashaw would have to eat that bullet and say he has to fight against Jose Aldo, because you don't want to sit there and wait for the winner between Jan and Sterling, and then wait for their recovery, and then wait through camp just to get that fight.
Right.
That's too much time in between.
Right. Yeah. But if he does beat Pedro Munoz, which is not exactly gonna be easy money for him either. See how good Munoz is. I mean, I think is this one. I think it's the pick'em fight in the betting odds. Looks like it to me, or is it 115 minus 115 105?
It's pretty close. It's a close call. It's not close to pick 'em. I think Aldo's slightly favored.
Yeah, I mean it's not. It's I don't know who's gonna win because I think both guys could win this fight. Really, I mean it's very competitive. You got a very competitive co-main event. Two Brazilians battling each other out. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if Aldo implements his legendary leg kicks. Although he hasn't done it in like the last several years as much as he would like early in his career. Considering his leg kicks is probably some of the best in this sport's history. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe like if he injures his leg doing those leg kicks or something. But yeah, like I guess this guy was getting a professional soccer player or like professional soccer level player, like like he's like one point like, he was offered a professional soccer role, and yet which means he's got powerful legs, obviously. Which I mean that's something you left one using in fighting. We'll see if he does incorporate that or not. Which who knows? Although although he has looked good at 135, surprisingly better than I expected, considering he's been fighting for like 17 years at least, and usually guys don't go down the older they are; they usually go up in weight class. And and like I said, don't discount Pedro Munoz. Sometimes he does get overlooked, but Pedro Munoz will remind you that he can still go out there and he is one of the top 10 elite bantamweights in the world.
Yeah, that's very interesting fight.
Any
You guys have any fighters
that
on the
is
card that as soon as you saw their name, it made you like they may not have been the main event or the co-main event, but just a name that you see on the come up that you go, okay, I pay attention to him, because there's one name in particular that I'm looking at that's passing by that I want to watch his fight.
Who?
which is that one?
Manel Cop.
Tell me more about Mel Cop.
Manel Cop is I believe he's a fighter of African descent, but
Okay.
oh man, the first two fights that he's had, he's lost both of them, but they've been the type of fights where the guy basically dominates the first round and even parts of the second round, but then they left everything out in those first two rounds. So now you have a third round of them just taking hits. And because they didn't finish strong, they ended up losing their fight. I don't know if you guys have seen someone like that y'all can describe them like, okay, that fighter, all they had to do was get right. They have to get with talk to someone in their camp. They have to clearly see what's going on and get right. Manel Cop is one of those guys. And the way he lost his last two fights, it was his first fight, he was too apprehensive. Didn't want to do much. But when he showed what he could do, he had a whole lot of skill. Really, really skilled fighter. The second fight, he wasn't apprehensive, and so he left everything out in the first and second round. So the third round, he was just a sandbag, a hitting dummy, and that's how he lost his last two fights. And so I'm really interested in seeing how this fight is going to turn out for him.
Right.
Yeah, if
Right. It looks like
if he wants to stay on the UFC roster, he's gonna have to put on a much better performance.
you're right about that. And for me, to answer your question, I know these two aren't exactly going to come up. They're both top 10 guys. But I'm going to say there's a welterweight matchup between Vincente Luque and Michael Chiesa. It's grappler versus striker. I mean, Luque's got the heavy hands and striker. Although I think he does a black belt in jiu-jitsu or jiu-jitsu background. Could be wrong. I might be wrong about that. I believe he does. Michael Chiesa is, great submission guy, great, good grappler. And this is almost like somewhat like striking versus grappling old school matchup. It's the type of deal. Not that Michael Chiesa can't strike. I mean, he can strike, but Luque's the superior striker and he's got heavy hands. And I know Luque does have some submissions, but I mean, these are two guys surging. I think Chiesa's won 4 in a row or 5 in a row, and I know Luque's on a 3-fight winning streak. I believe he's 9-1 his last 10. So I mean, whoever wins this fight cement themselves in the top 5 in the welterweight divisions. Probably after that, like one fight away from one victory. After this, whoever wins this fight will be another victory away from fighting for the welterweight champion fighting for the welterweight belt. I mean, personally, whoever wins this fight could fight, like Gilbert Burns, since Gilbert's looking to fight again at the end of the year, potentially. So I mean, or Leon Edwards. Like, I mean,
No,
go ahead.
oh,
Leon wants to
sorry,
fight Mazarov.
yeah, sorry for cutting you off,
True.
but if out of this fight between Chiesa and Luque, I'd say one of them should fight Gilbert Burns, because Gilbert Burns, although he did win his fight against Stephen Thompson, it wasn't the most dominant fashion.
Right.
It was kind of hold position and do enough striking to pass by. And that's what he did. He did, like, I know Stephen Thompson said it out and it sounded ridiculous to some people that, Gilbert Burns didn't want to stand and strike with him, but he didn't. Because the times when they did stand and strike, Stephen Thompson got the better of him. Granted that, I'd say Stephen Thompson, what he should do is learn better wrestling to at least get out of that situation. But it is what it is. But between Michael Chiesa and Vicente Luque, like between those two, they should most definitely want the Gilbert Burns fight. Because after that Gilbert Burns fight, I'm calling out Kamaru. That's it. Or whoever the champ is between Kamaru and Kobe and Covington. But I'm calling I'm calling out the champ, and that is my next fight. I don't want a consolation prize. You're bumping up in the ranks, and if you do it in an impressive fashion, yeah, you're the next guy.
Yeah,
Right,
I
exactly.
agree with that, because we're looking at Leon Edwards is going to fight Mazarov if it happens in Madison Square Garden. That's the fight that they're looking to put on there if it doesn't get canceled, the fight card over there.
Hopefully, I mean, if Masvidal accepts that fight, hopefully, we'll see if he accepts. Wait, maybe it does. Who knows?
Yeah, I think he did. I think it's coming. I think it's gonna happen. I double check on that. It's a lot of back and forth Twitter and back and forth talking and asking, calling for one another. And I know I know Mazarov has been doing some running around, doing some tours, media tours, and a lot of talking. So if he takes it, he takes it. Let's see. I think so. I don't see why not. I think Mazarov will be up for the challenge to fight Leon Lewis in December or in November. Yeah.
I think that is the fight.
And that's the
especially because coming off of a loss, you just want. I don't think Masvidal is the type of guy who just sits well with coming off of a loss.
No, sorry.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, I think that's a good point. But yeah, I mean, this Vincent Luque and Chiesa fight definitely has a lot of stakes in the welterweight division. Just like even the co-main event is a lot of stake in the bantamweight division. Two top 10 guys going against each other there, Rivaldo and Munoz. So yeah, I mean, lot of dinks and stake for the last three fights of the card. Those two fights, and of course the heavyweight title fight. The winner is going to guarantee the fight with Francis Ngannou down the road. And also Tisha Torres, Linda Hill, two ranked strawweights, rematch from 6 years ago, which Tisha won. Mention see if Tisha can repeat, win again, or Angela may be able to get back her loss from then. Angela tends to be in very exciting fights, Angela Hill. So who knows, that might be a scrap. The women's strawweight is the best division in all women's MMA, 115. And then of course the opening matchup, I think it's two guys in the cusp of the top 15 in the bantamweight division, Casey Kennedy and Song Yong Dong.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know Casey Kenny's come off his loss to Dominic Cruz earlier in the year, and I think Song Yong Dong's. Is he come off a loss, or is he still like on a winning streak? Because I do remember he had a controversial victory like last year.
I don't remember Song Yadong's last fight, but I definitely remember Casey Kennedy's last fight. And I don't think it was a shame to lose to Dominic Cruz in the fashion that he did. Because Dominic Cruz was just I don't know how else to say. He was a professional fighter's professional. He broke him down completely. Casey Kennedy could do nothing with him. It was just one of those things where I have more years in the game than you do. So I gotta hold you by your hand and take you around the block. I gotta show you something. Come on, let me show you something. And that's what that
He
was.
got to, yeah. He got took to school.
Yeah, it's one of those fights where you see a guy where he exercises all his options. He's like, yo, I feel like I can overpower you. Well, nope, I'm gonna sidestep, I'm gonna strike, I'm gonna hold you, this, that, whatever. All right, well, I feel like I can out grapple you. Well, that was a mistake. I can out grapple you. What's next? And he didn't have an answer. That was it.
Right.
So I think this
Yeah,
fight
it's
will be
true.
it, because especially when you see fighters come off a loss like that, a loss especially where it just look uncompetitive, not from a standpoint of like the Uriah Hall Sean Strickland fight, but more so like a guy just tried everything in his wheelhouse. He emptied the bag, but the bag wasn't enough. So now you just have to add more tools to the bag. That's it.
Right. Right. And he is the favorite against Sung Yong Dong. So, people still think very highly of Casey Kenny, which I don't blame him. I mean, Casey Kenny only has, what, 3 or 4 losses now, and he was on a roll before Dominic Cruz fights. And, well, it's interesting to see, how both guys look. Maybe Sung Yong Dong can capitalize, maybe put himself near contention, or Casey Kenny can bounce back, maybe get himself back in the rankings in this, stacked bantamweight division. But who knows? We'll see.
Very interesting.
Yeah, this card's interesting.
That's gonna be a good card. The whole card is pretty good. If you look at it up and down.
Yep, the fans in Houston definitely got a good one for them.
That is
Checking to see
for
this-
fans in
this,
Houston.
rankings
Absolutely.
right now.
Which rankings you looking? Which one?
I'm looking at the rankings right now, trying to see if there's a name.
Oh, okay.
You know who I
In
haven't
the
seen in a
Bando?
while? You know who I haven't
Who?
seen in a while? I don't remember his Bryce Mitchell.
Oh yeah, Bryce. He's a featherweight, isn't he? A
He's a
featherweight.
featherweight. He's a featherweight. Okay. I haven't seen him in a while. Last I saw him was he had a victory via submission, and he got his camo shorts.
Yep.
He's a guy that he branded himself well. So I think that's a guy who I feel like he should be getting another match soon. And I was looking for his name. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Like Dan just got dropped.
Hopefully Dan will come back in. Hopefully
Soon.
he's
Yeah.
back
To we can wrap this up. Wait.
There he is. Here he's coming on. Let me add him back to the stream.
I don't know why it keeps doing this.
And we have Dan back on.
I don't know why it keeps doing this. It kicks me out just to get right back here.
Technology, I guess. Who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, Bryce Mitchell is a name that I've been interested in, that I wanted to see, come back.
Yeah, I do too. Hopefully we can see him this year. I mean, who knows what's going on with Bryce? Maybe he got an injury, maybe take time off. I mean, you never know. Oh
We
yeah,
gotta get our man Kevin Holland back in the ring, man.
Oh yeah. Isn't he supposed to fight in is it October or August?
I think late August. I know he's supposed to fight again soon.
We really I check his Instagram every day. He always got something smart to say. He's so you know who he talks the most trash to when he gets a chance? He talks trash to Derek Brunson and Marvin Vittori. His last 2 losses, he made both of them block him.
Yeah, it's funny.
You know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna send out a tweet and invite him on the program with you guys. See if he comes on. Let's see. You never know.
I doubt it, but that'd be fun.
That'd be cool, yeah.
Oh yeah, Kevin Holland.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun, but we'll never know.
It looks like the UFC was trying to target for him to fight on October 2nd. Not confirmed. That does not mean he's going to fight October 2nd. That's just what they were just looking for that date. So maybe October is more likely we'll see Kevin Holland return.
Well, it seems
know
like he's trying to
yeah.
get 2 fights in because he said he wants this next fight, and then I believe they something to the effect of it felt like Luke Rockhold felt like people were ducking him, so he said he wanted to fight Luke Rockhold next. So I don't know.
Luke Rocco's gonna fight Sean Strickland though, so they might have to wait for that.
Mm-hmm.
We shall see with Kevin Holland and the mystery. But I am going to throw that invite to see. Well, let's see. You never know. Hey, you never know. The worst thing is they'll ignore it, not read it, pass it by, and the best thing that can happen is they're here. Yeah, that'd be great to have Kevin Holland. And we'll laugh up a storm with him here with all the crazy stuff they will say. Oh man. Oh yeah. Anything else around the card that you guys want to think? Any upcoming fights or any news or any notes that you think it's intriguing that we should keep an eye out?
Nah, I'm aware of.
You're good.
I
Dan,
wanted to ask you your opinion on the Nate Diaz fight.
What Nate Diaz fight?
Nate, no, I said Nate. Nick is supposed to be fighting Robbie
Lawler. Yeah, September. Yeah, in late September. I'm happy. I'm a big Nick Diaz fan. One of my favorite fighters of all time. Nick Diaz returning against Robbie Lawler. I think we talked about this last week actually.
Well, yeah.
I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, like I'm very excited.
We're excited about that fight because that's gonna be good.
One last thing, because this just recently came across my timeline. I believe today I saw it. But Stipe is ready to fight again.
Right.
He's already accepted the fight. They're just waiting on John Jones.
See, man,
would you want to see that fight, and who do you think would win that?
I still want to see that fight, even though it would mean more if Stipe had a heavyweight title, because that's what made the fight so appealing. With Stipe heavyweight champ against John Jones, the UFC's greatest heavyweight versus UFC's greatest light heavyweights. I mean, it's still a case without the heavyweight championship, but it's still a great matchup regardless. And even then, I still think John Jones probably would win. Although knowing Stipe would probably find a way to pull off a victory that he probably shouldn't have won. Knowing Stipe.
Yeah.
Stipe is that type of guy. I don't know. Like, every fighter has said it. Like, when you're laid off from fighting and you're choosing not to fight for a while, coming back into the ring the first time, no one ever looks their best. Even John, like every time he came back, granted he's won every time he came back, but he didn't look like the dominant John Jones that we know. And even the first time he came back, he had a couple matches. I believe no, not the first time. I say the second time he came back when he fought Gustafsson. He fought Gustafsson, and then after that, who did he fight? Anthony Smith, and then he had a fight with
Thiago
Santos, and then Dominic Reyes. The reason why it doesn't look good is because the last fight you had was against Dominic Reyes. Granted, Dominic Reyes has been losing. He lost his last 2 fights, but it was against pure killers. I mean that. The Yuri, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, I agree.
Prohaska, something like that elbow strike that he landed on Dominic Reyes. It was something of beauty, and it was pure killer instinct. So you're not, the last fight you had was against a guy who's losing, not against slouches, but against guys who we feel could potentially compete. And I think Yuri against. Oh man, if you see him versus what's his name? He's the champ. Jan Blachowicz. I forgot his name. When I look at him, I remember his face, and the only thing that came to my mind was Polish power.
Right.
But Jan Blachowicz, I think like that fight would be interesting. But yeah, John Jones coming back to the ring, I don't think it's gonna look as good, and I think that Stipe, Stipe is just a really smart fighter. He's really smart. That's what you like. toughness. Granted, you have to be tough to be in the UFC, and the way like where Stipe is at, we're not gonna question his toughness, but like his IQ of fighting is so grand. I don't know if John is gonna be able to win that fight. That is an interesting fight, especially coming off of a layoff. I don't know who wins that fight.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, John would be the favorite for sure, but yeah, like I said, who knows if John can win that fight, considering the layoff, but also the fact that Stipe tends to win these fights he probably shouldn't win, and also how would John handle being a heavyweight, dealing with heavyweight power and heavyweight, guys being heavyweight, being heavyweight itself, like
Yeah,
heavy. But
no, I understand what you're saying, but also it's like you spent the last couple of years gaining weight, and now you're about to you're entering like most guys usually when they go from one division to another, they at least give themselves the grace period of, oh, I'm going from a 5-rounder back to a 3-rounder. It's just that I'm gonna have more weight on me or I've cut weight. John is going from 5-rounder to 5-rounder. That's the difficult part. You're going to be putting on more weight, and then you're going to expect yourself to keep the same gas tank that you had, but now that you have more weight, and you have to keep it against guys who have way more power than the class of guys you were dealing with beforehand. Like the fact that Derek Lewis, who is not an in shape guy, like to name, like he's not in shape. He knows that his strength is not his cardio. But Derek Lewis in the 5th round can still knock you out. Right. That's the danger that John has to deal with.
Right. Especially if he doesn't go to the mat. Even if he goes to the mat, doesn't have enough in the tank to fight 5 rounds on a mat ground attack or on a wrestling bout. It's going to be so much the weight carrying on for those 5 rounds. I can see that.
Oh, the fact that you mentioned the ground, I don't think that would be his friend against Stipe. I think Stipe would be a way better wrestler against John on the ground, especially knowing. What? Go ahead, Austin.
Or maybe you think maybe it'd be easier. Maybe never mind. Not gonna say you think Stipe would have easier time getting up, but it's like nah, that wouldn't make sense if John were to take him down.
Yeah, I think John would have John naturally is going to have the advantage standing up because he has a bigger wingspan. He has longer reach.
And he knows how to use his elbows and knees.
He knows how to John is a very creative striker. Like I'm not gonna lie, to this day, the give me one moment if I can show it. I don't know if you guys can see my knee, but that top of the knee strike that he's doing. That kick to the top of the knee, no other fighter is doing that. And when I looked and noticed that the damage that it does, like I'm not even lying, Thiago Santos still hasn't recovered.
No, he's not. Yeah,
he still hasn't recovered. It's funny, but it's true because if you watch him now, who was his last fight against? He fought against a 40-year-old guy. What was his name? Glover Teixeira. I couldn't tell who was the 40-year-old. The way he was walking, his legs were so gimpy, and I'm like, oh my God, you haven't recovered yet. I don't think you can. I think John changed your legs forever. Forever. That was it.
Salute to Enrique.
I think you're right. Yeah.
That type of striking, I've never seen anyone do that before. And even though John is doing it and there are other guys that have the length, the pure length, and even sometimes the advantage that John has against most fighters, they can't strike the way he can. That type of striking, the type of elbows when he throws his elbows. Just the type of striking that he does. He's so creative that sometimes it isn't even about the power that he throws. It's just that he throws the right strike at the right time. And because it hits a certain part of the body, like your body has no choice but to
Uh,
shut down.
that's true.
And that's
Yeah,
what.
but
Go ahead.
yeah, that's true. But Stipe, but going back to Tim Stipe, it's that maybe you mentioned wrestling now. Stipe might have the advantage there. You were talking about that earlier.
Well, as far as wrestling, yeah, like that's the way Stipe would have to kind of bite on the like he'd have to exchange with him for a little, but when it comes time to go for those single and double legs, he has to go. He has to shoot and reshoot and get him down on the ground. And I think there he would have a better advantage because as much as a creative striker John is, you're not getting that much power if you're striking from your back.
True. Good point. Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
I mean, who knows? Let's see if it gets
Yeah.
made. If John agrees to the fight, we'll see. I mean, you never know. I mean, maybe it depends on John. John might take it. John might say, "No, I just want to fight for the heavyweight title." We don't know. Maybe especially if the UFC is not going to pay up their pay for him because that's really was the big issue with John in the UFC. Why we didn't get Stipe? I mean, not Stipe. Francis and John already. We gotta wait and see for that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That was the only thing that came across.
Yeah. Guess we can end it here.
Yeah, we could. I just got one thing I want to put on the ticker as a breaking news for Dan. It just came through the wire. Really interesting. I just wanted to see what your thoughts were if I could find it. Give me a second. I just had it. What's your thoughts on this, man? Breaking news, man.
Oh man. I was about to leave Knicks talk over for the Knicks channel. The MMA talk for the MMA channel. Okay. Oh man. I knew this was coming from you eventually. Oh man. Oh man. I'm here thinking,
I
oh
mean, it's
man,
a good deal.
he's about to break some serious news to me. Oh, man,
Salute D Ross. I know my main man D Ross on the chat loves Frank Ntilikina as well. There's still hope for him on the team. Just to talk a little bit off key of the subject, I think they're still gonna bring him back. I wouldn't be surprised if someone gets injured or whatever the case is, or even if I think I wouldn't be surprised if Ntilikina gets picked up. I think Knox will get moved, trade, and I think they'll have a slot for Ntilikina in the team. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the fact that Knox, he's on the what you call it? Because he's on the
I'm telling he's coming on the team, D
no,
Ross.
he's on the quarantine.
Yeah.
Like D Ross. Yeah, but because Knox has to quarantine.
Yeah.
I believe he's on the what's the list? Ah man.
The safety protocol.
Yeah, he's on the safety protocol. And the way they did the safety protocol for summer league, if you were on safety protocol, you just weren't gonna play.
Right.
So
He's not gonna play.
He just missed his only chance of getting
opening eyes and pressing.
Yeah, because I don't see it happening. Like, first of all, it's gonna be a long break between summer league and preseason, and even then, you're facing. I don't know how you're facing G League guys that are not gonna be on the roster, and clearly the only way you're gonna be playing is you're gonna be playing with the guys that won't be on this roster. So I don't know. He had one chance, and it's not even his fault. It's just the fact that he's on the safety protocols now, and it is what it is.
It's like a bucket of bad luck for that kid.
Yeah, which is crazy because I felt like he was working on the right things this offseason. But I guess finally because we finally got a coach that knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and it's a bummer. Right now, the Yankees are trailing 3-2 in the seventh inning over the Seattle Mariners. The Mets lost earlier this afternoon, 4-2 to the Marlins. And that's the baseball around the league. And we all know training camp, a Hall of Fame game between the Dallas Cowboys and the
And
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh.
Steelers is taking place. No Ben Roethlisberger, no Dak Prescott. So we just it's just like a dress rehearsal, guys. First game of the preseason of football is up and running, and football season is here. A good time there. We'll break down some football talk here as well on Bronx Sports JEDI Networks. Tune in. But that's with the MMA. We broke down the MMA card, the program, all that. We appreciate everyone came out and listened to us at the MMA program. I can't wait for the pay-per-view this weekend. I know Austin as well. I know you, Dan, and I will break it down next week on that. And we'll look forward to the upcoming cards and different news and notes. And hopefully I'm gonna work my butt off to get Kevin Holland on now, see if he accepts it, and come on. That'll be phenomenal. That'd be hilarious to have him on and chat. So, I'll start sending the video out and the invites out to Holland via Twitter, and let's see if we could get him on here and talk it out. And I'd love to ask him a couple of questions on his fights. What is he thinking about when he's fighting and striking and letting his opponents the confidence that he just wants to tell them, I'm going to punch you in your face, and he just go ahead and does it. And it's just, it's an entertaining fighter in my opinion. So hopefully hopefully finger crossed, we could get him on the program and to chit chat with us or anyone from the MMA.
That'd be cool. Hopefully, I doubt it, but you never know.
I know. It's a long shot, but you never know.
Or at the very least, what we could do is if he doesn't, jump on the live stream, is like pre-record some questions, pre-record something, and then during the live stream we can play it back.
Right. During the live stream, like like an interview and maybe questions. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm definitely going to start reaching out to see if I could get him on, and that'd be great for us as MMA fans and followers or any MMA guys or anyone out there that's an MMA fighter. This is an open discussion panel. All you have to do is let us know in the chat that you want to be on, and you're more than welcome to come on as an open panel and speak MMA with us. We definitely would love to have you on. More wise minds speaking the fight and the fight cards. We love MMA here, and we like to break it down, each and every one of us. And of course, we all know so much in depth and so much content that you guys provide on the program. I appreciate you guys bringing that information and that good stuff with all these fights, records, and divisions and upcoming fights. Because remember, I think UFC and I think Bellator now, with the popularity with this Grand Prix, I think they're going to want to close the year out strong. And they've been having a phenomenal card, and I think that it's going to get even better and more greater now that more fans are allowed to come out, and people are starting to go more to events. And I think these cards are gonna get more and more exciting, more action packed, guys. It's gonna be fun. So right now, MMA is heading in the right direction, and with this program, I know it's gonna continue to grow and grow more as long as we keep coming on here and grinding. I think we are gonna get these guests to want to come on and speak, or even anyone insider writer or whatever the case. I'm gonna start doing my part and putting out feelers, and so we can start interviewing them, asking questions and asking, maybe we could get to an answer about the pay scale in MMA boxing. Is there a different pay scale between male and female fighters as well? All those type of questions is good to ask and find out, have that conversation on this platform. But guys, I appreciate everyone here. Day Ross, Enrique, Nick's Real Talk Divine was in here. Probably still here. Appreciate you listening. I appreciate everybody that's Alex Coquito, everyone that has been there writing and in the chat, and also that always listen to streams in the rerun. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And any last parting words. I'll go with you, Dan, and then we'll close it out with Austin.
Last parting words. I got Tyron Woodley beating up Jake Paul. That's it. Have a good night.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Honestly, yeah. For me, well, look for Houston. Be grateful, Houston crowd. Get this card and be nice. Derek Lewis with a win. hopefully, personally as a fan, although I don't hate Zero Gone, and yeah, I can't wait for Saturday night. That's all I gotta say.
All right, man. And with that, I'm going to thank everyone. Thank you guys. Also, we've been just to let everyone know. Thank you for the for your patience on us on our speaking and all that, because we've been battling, both of us, with COVID. So we've been battling it, and we're doing well. We're doing much more better, but we had a little bit of an episode with it in our home. But we're doing fine, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you coming on. Yes, D-Rod, you definitely came to defend Frank. Dave, Jackson, D-Ross, man, I appreciate you there coming on. And we all Frank lovers here, and every one of us here. So, well, enjoy the UFC fights, and until next weekend. Next week when we come on and speak about it, don't forget, we'll have Sunday. Next Real Talk will be on Sunday, the Summer League. And I think just keep the notification for other programs. Mondays, we'll be back here with my partner Hector, Project Nerd. We'll be doing maybe some other more baseball, the Yankees, and so forth around the MLB. But just keep that notification when we come on, and we'll definitely continue. I know next Thursday we'll be back here with the MMA as well. So until then, guys, we'll see you then, and we'll be around, man.
Peace.
I think we're frozen on my end. Whoa. Austin, are we still live on the air, Austin?